Checking back in with Blake Butler with the Hoppers back in town for another season. Seems like we just saw you a few weeks back here. That's the same spot. We always talk about the Bob's Curb Market, Southeast Guilford Falcons, and we also talk about the Hoppers and what they're doing. What have you been doing yourself in the past few months? Where have you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, it did go quick, but I've been chasing my little 1-year-old around. He New Year's Day last year was born, and so he is a handful. He is running all over the place and saying hi to about everybody he sees. So we're enjoying our time with him, my wife and I. And yeah, it was a cold off season up in northern Kentucky, but we made the most of it and hung out with him.
So the team coming back this year, what are you seeing out of the guys so far here during the spring?
Yeah, it feels like we're on schedule as far as our defense and our pitching. I think that's going to be the identity of our club, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing as far as the way that we're playing the game in spring training. You have to carry that over from spring training. It's not always as easy as do the same thing. You got to stay really focused and committed to your plan. So hopefully we do that here in the early going. But I'm seeing a lot of guys that are comfortable in their own shoes and playing the game the right way.
So you had a very good season last year. How do you build upon that success from last year? Some of the guys back from last year, you can pick up where you left off those guys, keep pushing those guys so you're at the high level. Yeah,
we said it. I think you got to lean on your guys that are returning, the leaders of the club. We'll definitely lean on them to make sure that we're keeping the standard at minimum where it was last year. But even beyond that, we got to continue to push and find ways to get better, find ways to improve. We definitely going to keep that bad taste in our mouth and the way that things finished last year, and definitely use that as some motivation to go out and set ourselves up to have another chance at a run in the postseason.
If we could identify some of the guys that are back from last year, who are some of those guys?
Yeah, you'll see Lonnie White back as one of the guys who was in a lot of our offense for most of the year last year. Sean Ross is our backstop for most of the year, who's back again this year. Another catcher that came up from Bradenton about halfway or toward the end of the year last year, maybe the last 6 or 8 weeks last year, is Omar Alfonso. And then a number of guys in the pen that came up in the middle of the year last year. You'll have Garrett McMillan will be back, Mike Walsh will be back, Landon Tompkins, all guys that came up at some point last year, Ryan Harbin. So a lot of familiar faces in the bullpen, and a couple familiar faces on the starter end. JP Massey is a guy who started for us last year, and he's back here as well. So a good mix of new and guys returning, and so definitely some guys that we can lean on early.
And you can lean on Sean Ross, because I remember 2 years ago had some very good numbers in a short period of time, about 14 homers for about a half a year. Then last year came back and he started hitting the long ball again. Mm-hmm. So he's, I think, a converted infielder who became a catcher, is doing very well with it.
Yeah, you'll see him do a little bit of both this year. He'll do some catching, he'll do some infield, but yeah, you said he's going to test your voice. I know your home run call.
Home run call. Got to keep that going for sure.
He's going to be testing your voice because when he gets a hold of one, it goes a long ways.
Yeah, I got that long ball T-shirt coming out soon too.
Nice.
Found a guy in Pleasant Garden. You remember this guy, Carolina sports guy in Pleasant Garden?
Yeah, another place.
Mr. Hines, he's going to put out a few of those long gone T-shirts, get those going this year.
He'll take good care of you.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's always good to be involved in this local approach. And with your standpoint, what was it like being at home last year and calling shots for your hometown team and doing that for the entire season? And you've been here before as a player coach, so to speak, as a coach on the field and working with different player developmental, we might say, pretty much. Mm-hmm. But full reins last year, running that show, what was that like the entire year?
Yeah, it was really special. It was really special to look up and see some familiar faces. You and I talked at length about that last year, just how special it was. Consider myself very lucky to be able to represent this city, to be from this city, and now get to stand on that top step and manage this club is an extreme blessing to me. It's something I definitely do not take for granted. But it was a lot of fun. We had a really, really good group last year, and as we mentioned, a lot of returners. But I'm excited for these new guys. It's a new chapter in all of our lives, whether we're repeating the level, we're back managing again now for the second year, or if it's your first time here. It's a new opportunity. We all get a blank slate. So definitely happy with the way things turned out this year, but definitely not content. Definitely want to continue to get better as a manager, get better as a leader, and continue to lead this club the way that the city of Greensboro deserves.
And you've got some of your same coaches back from next year, possibly?
Yeah, we do. Hitting coach and pitching coach Matt Myers and hitting coach Jonathan Prieto are back. The rest of the staff's all new. So a lot of really talented coaches, really talented talented support staff, and really good people as well. So they're going to fit right in with the culture of Greensboro. They're going to do a great job taking care of our players and continue to push them to be better.
Well, over the years, Greensboro's been pretty good to minor league baseball, sending guys to major leagues. You go back all the way to the guys back in the Don Manley days, Otis Dixon, Greg Gagne, all those guys back with the old Hornets teams. And you got Derek Jeter, moving up to other guys. Can't forget Mike Giancarlo Stanton over the time, and J.P. Remuto. It's on and on. But you think about two recent guys. I think I saw somewhere, somebody put a bug in my ear, that Thomas Harrington did the start for he's going to get the starting job for the Pirates tonight, and not too far away is Bubba Chandler. Those guys here just a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's the cool thing about the minor leagues. It's the cool thing about being in Greensboro. And you said the history here. There's so many, not just big leaguers, really good big leaguers that played here for the city of Greensboro and represented, whether it was the Hornets, the Bats, or now the Hoppers. But yeah, I just saw that on Twitter this morning myself, that Harrington was going to be getting to make his debut, and he went to Campbell, so just down the road. So a lot of reasons for the state to root him on, coming through here with the Grasshoppers, but also playing his college ball over at Campbell. So really, really ecstatic for him. Just a top-tier human being on top of being a top-tier pitcher. So excited for him to make an impact at our big league club and continue, as a minor league department in the Greensboro Grasshoppers, to continue to support winning in Pittsburgh.
You had a guy here last year and part of the previous year who's kind of like in some ways a Derek Jeter because he's an infielder. Jeter here years ago. This guy Tavar Johnson here last year, a little bit the year before. I think he's also trying to make that escalation to move up to the top of the ladder.
Yeah, all these guys are. Tamar's going to start in Altoona. He went up at the end of the year last year and spent just about a month there. So he's going to start the year with that club. And I'm excited to see how he does. The Eastern League can be a beast at times. It's going to be cold up there in April, and I know he's going to be tough enough to handle it early. And excited to see what he's able to put together as a season there.
But like you talked about earlier, this is a good hitters-friendly ballpark here. So if the guys can keep their focus, that ball should travel pretty well for them here.
Yeah, no, the makeup of our team is going to be pitching and defense, and I think that actually bodes well here because, we take care of the baseball. When the other team gives us outs, if we take them as outs, keep guys off base, the long balls aren't going to hurt us quite as bad, and we're going to run into some here. I think we got some guys who have worked really hard this offseason on their offensive game, and I really do believe that's going to show up for us here early in the season, and they're going to have to stay with it, be consistent, whether the results are good or bad early, and just continue to push to drive our team offense to success.
Blake Butler with us with the Greensboro Grasshoppers, former Southeast Guilford Falcon, College of Charleston Cougars back in the day, and also with the Daytona?
Yeah,
Daytona Tortugas back in the day, played all positions that last game as a player there. Thinking about all this stuff together, something I always wonder about, and a lot of fans wonder too. Who's going to be the starting pitcher opening day here on Friday night? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Antoine Kelly is going to be starting for us as long as he gets the next few days healthy. But it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag early. We're going to put some guys in some unique roles and see how they respond to it. Like I said, I think it's going to be a strength of our team, which makes those decisions a little bit harder because you got a lot of guys that you feel like you can rely on. But he's going to lead us out on night one, and we're excited to see how that goes.
Blake Butler, always good to see you, talk with you. We'll try to get together with some Saturday afternoon interviews this year. Keep those rolling for you. Keep up the flag flying at Bob's Curb Market. Keep that Southeast Guilford flag flying down with the Falcons, and just try to keep the whole thing going in order because I know you love it here, you're enjoying it. But I tell you what, 2 years is a good stay.
Yeah.
Then we got to get you moving on.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I love being here. I'd signed a 10-year contract to be here in Greensboro, and I know there may be some bigger things out there, but those things aren't always better. So I'm enjoying every minute I get here, and whatever's next, we'll continue to take it with the same spirit and excitement. But it's a blessing to be here, and we're going to give the fans of Greensboro a show, hopefully.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a good game and a good season and a good year.
Thank you, Andy.